Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me on week 4 of the the 90 Day Soulmate Plan book club, the book that I wrote recently, published in September of 2012. The paperback version came out in November. I'm so excited for you joining me, whether you're listening to this live recording or you're listening to it later. I'm just so happy that our consciousness connected and we're here together. So this week we're going to be covering step 2 of my 5-step program. So you completed step 1, which is be a love magnet. You've basically created all the different pillars of self-love, which include mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. So you went through all 4 pillars of self-love and you've done all the exercises. And if you've done so, congratulations. I'm sure you're already experiencing positive things in your life. You've raised your vibration and you've created a foundation of self-love. So congratulations for doing so. And this week, we're going to start with step 2, which is heal your heart and close your X files. So I find this to be one of the most important steps in this 5-step program. And I'm going to share more with you today. So first, though, I'd like to start off with a little bit of a silent meditation, or rather a guided meditation, just to kind of ground you and help you feel present and connected. Okay. And by the way, that's where love exists. Love exists in the present moment. It's when you're fully open and allowing for the love to enter your life that wants to flow into your life, and you're just present and open to it. And I find mindfulness practice to be so invaluable in helping me tune into this love consciousness that's all around us. Be present, be open. So I invite you to close your eyes and get into a comfortable seated position. And if any distractions are there, like your email or your phone, just try to switch them off. And together, let's take an inhale, an exhale, and together, let's take another inhale, an exhale, and together, let's take one last long inhale, filling up your whole body with white light. And exhale. So I'm going to guide us through around 10 minutes of guided meditation. Just relax. I'm going to start off with the bell. Breathing in, I'm aware of my in-breath. Breathing out, I'm aware of my out-breath. In, out. Breathing in, I notice the quality of my breath entering my nose on my in-breath. Breathing out, I feel the sensation of the breath leaving my nose on the out breath. In, out. Breathing in, I notice the sounds around me. Breathing out, I just observe these sounds and then bring my attention back to my breath. In, out. Breathing in, I notice the thoughts going through my head. Breathing out, I just observe them as clouds passing by and then bring my attention back to my breath. In, out. Breathing in, I bring my attention down to my heart, noticing the sensations arising. Breathing out, I simply observe the sensations arising. In, out. Breathing in, I notice my heart beating. And breathing out, I send gratitude to my heart for beating and pumping blood to all of my body. In, out. Breathing in, I notice any feelings, thoughts, sensations arising in my heart. Breathing out, I practice love, acceptance, and forgiveness for anything coming up in my heart. In, out. Breathing in, I bring my attention to my heart. Breathing out, I send love and compassion and acceptance to my heart. In, out. Breathing in, I know that this is the present moment. Breathing out, I know it is the only moment, a beautiful moment. In, out. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peace. May I be free from suffering. May my loved ones be happy. May my loved ones be healthy. May they be peace. May they be free from suffering. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peace. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be free from suffering. Thank you. And you can slowly open your eyes and thank yourself for being here today, for taking this moment for practicing a little meditation. I'm curious, how was that for you? Today we focused on bringing attention to your heart and just holding space. Probably the most important part about love and calling in your soulmate is about having an open heart. And thank you, Kathy. Very good. So glad. Again, this tradition that I'm following for the guided meditation, it's one taught by Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who passed away recently, or a year ago, rather. And the tradition, the not Blue Cliff, the Plum Village Monastery in France. It's in that tradition. Okay, so today we're going to be reading from Heal Your Heart and Close Your X Files, page 127. And again, the intention of this book club is just to share passages with you from the book and maybe highlight some of them, maybe guide you through some meditations or reflections. And if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. Okay. Thank you. So, page 127, love sometimes wants to do us a great favor, hold us upside down and shake all the nonsense out, by Hafiz. Yes, that's what love does. It just shakes up our life and makes us confront our demons and our obstacles. And it's like Mario Brothers, you know, how Mario Brothers is going through all the obstacles of, has to jump through a lot of hoops and slay the dragon and finally meet the princess in the end. That's the journey of love. It's really about like just, facing our inner battles and meeting our soulmate at the end, which ultimately is us, but also our soulmate partner, our soulmate friends and community, and family. So remember that time you cried for months on end, downing bottles of alcohol and God knows what else to numb the pain from that devastating breakup from which you never fully recovered? Or when your first true love pretended to never notice you in high school? When your parents fought when you were a child, or now when your mom laments about how you'll never land a man or you're being too picky, the pain adds up and hurts like hell. Yes, this all happened to me. I think that's how I felt. I felt very wounded when I was single and looking for love. And this was me. I used to drink and sometimes even smoke just to numb that pain that I felt. When your heart has experienced physical pain or is heavy with emotional wounds from the past, you become afraid of reliving that pain. You put up an energetic wall around it because you're afraid of being vulnerable, sending signals like, I don't trust you, I don't need you, stay away. On top of that, you may have unresolved energetic and spiritual cords with exes and family members that continue to tug at you or close you off from healthy relationships. From a survey that I do, I have found that nearly 66% of women are still hung up on an ex, whether they're still angry with them, confused why the relationship ended. Yeah, most of us carry some unresolved pain from a past relationship, and we don't even realize it. All of these form blocks in your heart, leading you to repeat all sorts of sabotage patterns or keep you single or in failing relationships. The pain lives in different parts of your body too, and yet the heart is the entryway because of its connection with divinity and being able to access the healing power of love. So this is why I think that this chapter is so important. Not only is healing your heart so foundational to finding your partner, but it's also your connection to the divine. It's like in this process of healing your heart, you will experience your truth, your authenticity, your connection with your intuition, and to the divine. Okay. The wound is the place that the light enters you, by Rumi. Rumi said that. Girl, I know you want to live a full open heart that's bursting at its seams. You know that you are capable of loving from this place of unconditionality and generosity, and your body craves for experiencing this kind of love that defies all norms and limitations. You're worthy of finding a partner who wants this too, a love that is free of drama and one that inspires commitment and courage from both of you. Yet the blocks in your heart are preventing you from this kind of love. The heart is waiting to be excavated by your inner archaeologist so that your truth can finally shine through and illuminate the path to love. You are gifted with the power of love, which will take you through this very process of healing. Your heart's desire to experience such love and your feeling of love for yourself and the world around you is what keeps propelling you forward on your path to recovery. I think this is really important. There's a lot of uses of the word love, but love is that power, like harnessing that power, and your yearning for love, for your yearning for unconditional love, is what's going to help you through healing your heart. It's going to help you face those obstacles to meeting your soulmate. It's this power of love. It's this yearning that you have for helping heal yourself and the world. The power of the heart. So we live in a head-based society where one's mind and intelligence are considered the most important and are financially rewarded. And we are unaware of the potency and the power of the heart. The mind can only love from ego, and that kind of love ultimately falls apart because of its constant rationalizing, measuring, and filtering mechanisms. I'll be honest, the way I used to love was totally ego based. And I can only say this retrospectively. Of course, at the time when I was dating and single, I used to think that my love was true because I would do anything for my partner. But I didn't realize that at the same time of, doing everything to win my partner's heart or stay interesting to him, stay connected to him, I was also sabotaging the relationship. So I was wounded. And in that wounding, I would inflict pain on my partner. I would, sabotage the relationship. And my love wasn't unconditional. I remember my last partner whom I was engaged to, and then we broke up. I put so many conditions on him, and I thought that was the right thing to do. I thought, like, okay, if I'm firm with what I need, then he's going to fulfill them, and that's how you negotiate in a relationship. And when he was breaking up with me, he told me that he just didn't. He felt that I put him at a distance, and that he couldn't trust me, um, and that he didn't feel safe with me. And, as it turns out, I had put a lot of conditions on him because I wanted to control our relationship. I wanted to control the outcome of our relationship. And so, yeah, and it's taken me a lot of heart healing, not a lot, but, an intention for heart healing in order for me to learn to love my husband. From a place of unconditionality. And this is my daily work. The heart is the connection to higher wisdom and unconditional love. It's the best inner compass. It feels what is true and resonant with it, and simply knows what is right and wrong for you. Your heart is more than just an organ that pumps blood into your body, which is already a miraculous achievement. It is also the portal to the divine, your connection with God, the infinite mystery and intelligence of life. I remember when I was a kid, I used to look at pictures of from ancient Egypt. Like there was like this world history book, and my favorite part of the world history book was the chapter on Egypt, and how when a person died, the I think it was Thoth, or there was one Egyptian god who would weigh the heart against a feather, and whichever one was heavier showed how that person had progressed in life, spiritually, and that's how that person was rewarded in the afterlife. And you know, the having a light heart is really the the portal to peace. It's the portal to love, unconditional love. And yeah, and that really shows that you're open to receiving healthy love when your heart feels free from baggage. And you deserve that. You deserve having um, a light heart, a baggage-free heart, a baggage-free heart that allows you to claim living your best life, your most loving life. Okay? The heart is a powerful energy center in your body. No doubt the brain has its own electromagnetic field, but it is relatively weak with the heart. The heart is 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the head. Just imagine that. Your your heart is so powerful that a person in the next room can feel your heart. And that's the power of the heart. Once you clear your heart, you magnetize what you want and deserve to you. Okay. Um, at first, you might feel distrustful of your heart because of the mistakes you've made, and alternatively, you might feel disconnected from your heart. So this is the case for a lot of my clients that I work with. In the beginning, they don't even feel connected to their heart, or their heart feels painful. And so this is why this chapter is so important. Okay. So when your heart is heavy with guilt, shame, regret, and searing pain from your heartache, it becomes almost lifeless. You feel like you're in survival mode, living on very little hope or life force. This did happen to me. After my ex broke up with me, I felt like I was dying. I did feel half my body felt numb, and I just felt like I had so little life force left. I felt such little willingness to live, and that's a sign that my heart was so heavy. So yeah, when your heart heals, you will feel an irresistible sense of happiness and freedom from within. Only from the heart can you touch the sky. And that's a Rumi quote. So I'm just going to guide us through a little exercise, which is tuning into your heart. Okay. I invite you to close your eyes and take a couple of breaths. Let's take an inhale and exhale. And another inhale and exhale. So what I would like for you to do is to say out loud a sentence like this: I really desire meeting my soulmate, my life partner, a person with whom I can experience unconditional love with, or whatever you want to make it. But something is blocking me. Okay, so say whatever it is that you desire and end it with, but something is blocking me. You don't have to answer what is blocking you, just say that sentence. So I really desire to experience lifelong committed partnership with my partner, but something is blocking me. And just bring your attention down into your body and just notice the physical sensations arising in your body. Scanning your body from head to toe. What feelings arise? What thoughts arise? Just be there for these sensations, these thoughts, these feelings, not judging, just loving awareness, compassion, accepting what is. And maybe even think to yourself, even if I'm feeling these things, I love, accept, and forgive myself. And you can slowly open your eyes. And that's part of whenever I'm coaching a client and I'm just feeling into a block that they might have. That's what I take them through. Um, and so, what you can do is use that framework to help drop into what blocks you might have around something, around a desire of yours, and just be there, be present for the sensations arising. You don't have to resolve it, just bring loving attention and presence to those sensations. And slowly those sensations uh, will start to heal over time. Okay. This exercise helped bring awareness to how your love block lives inside your body. Okay. And I'd like to hear what came up for you from that brief meditation, if anything. Maybe journal about it. Okay. So, what are the 3 steps to heart freedom? So, in my program, I've identified 3 major blocks that women have to love, and they come from the pain and the shame and guilt that we carry from our own narrative, right? So, from mistakes we've made, from guilt or regret that we might have. Okay. And then the second is from childhood experiences. So your family blueprint. Um, yeah, you noticed your physical flaws. Yeah, just bring love, acceptance, and forgiveness to whatever came up for you. So right, the second step to heart freedom is from your childhood, your relationship with your parents, um, maybe even flaws that your parents had. Okay. And then the third is from past relationships. And like I shared, nearly 65% of women are still hurt from a past relationship. Okay. So I call that the X files. So we're going to go through these step by step. And today we're going to be talking about the first part, which is freeing yourself from yourself. So freeing yourself from your own narrative and the pain and regret you might feel from your life. Okay. So of course there are other types of traumas and wounds that you might have accumulated, but thankfully, just focusing on these 3 will support you in your love life. And you will you won't need to do years and years of therapy if you just go through this process. And if you need support, this is a very vulnerable process. And if you need support in this process, I invite you to find support, whether it's a therapist, a coach, a friend, another friend who's doing the book, someone you could relate with. It's really important. Okay. Um, so all right. So on page 132, I talk about, is my heart blocked? So a self-assessment. See what comes up for you when you do this assessment. And maybe I'll just read them out for you so that you can, well, actually, no, I don't have enough time to read them out, but this assessment will help you see whether you have any heart blocks. Okay. Have faith that shining light on your fears and pain is the first and most important step to healing your heart. So, one thing I want to highlight is that you don't have to like completely heal your heart in order to find your soulmate. You don't have to completely love yourself to find your soulmate. You just have to set the intention of healing, of love recovery, of bringing attention and awareness to your pain and your fears. That's it. Just loving attention. I mean, I still have pain and fears with my in my life, with my relationship. That's just part of the human experience. It's what you do with it that's important. Okay, how you um, reparent yourself, how you love that scared inner child of yours. That's important. It's how you react to your fears and your anxiety. Is it, do you like resort to habitual worrying or, shutting down or disconnecting or saying something mean to your partner? Or do you go inward and just feel what needs to be felt and love yourself? Okay. And when you do that process of loving yourself, your pain, your fears, and just bringing attention and awareness to old wounds from a place of love and acceptance, then you'll see that they'll start to evaporate and you can start to feel much more baggage free. Okay. On page 134, I talk about what is reparenting and why is it so important. I think reparenting is the most important thing we can learn. It's what therapy is all about, right? Reparenting is the process of giving yourself what you didn't ideally receive from your parents or others when you were a child. When you were young, there were many moments in which your needs weren't met or when you were hurt by parents or caregivers. There were missed opportunities for connection in which you interpreted the action as a lack of love. Moreover, you may be carrying shame and guilt from your past. Okay, now here comes your superpower. It's called time travel. You now have the chance to go back in time and be there for that little girl and repair that hurt that you felt, repatching those missing connections in your psyche. You can raise your consciousness to understand why your parents or others behaved in a certain way and have compassion for their actions. You can release that evidence that you are unlovable by the sheer action of loving yourself in that moment right now. Each connection you heal will help you feel more whole. Okay. You can begin to love, accept, and nourish yourself as a parent ideally would, and heal those moments you lost connection. Okay. So, this is the process of reparenting. It's when you become your own inner mother and inner father. And anytime an old wound comes up, just be there for it and practice love and acceptance for that inner child that experienced whatever it felt. And in that way, you patch an old wound, and slowly you start healing your psyche. Okay. You start becoming your own inner mother, inner father, giving yourself what you feel like you missed when you were a child. And I will say, as a mother, I know that I'm going to mess up with my kids. Like, even though I've practiced a lot of consciousness tools and self-awareness and mindfulness and meditation, it doesn't matter. I know I'm going to mess up. And that's just being human. Okay. One thing I will share is when you're doing this chapter, you might start experiencing synchronicities like an ex showing up. You might have certain conversations with a parent. A lot, synchronistically starts happening, or it might happen. So that's the miracle of healing. Right. So while you're doing this chapter, I invite you to practice self-love. So the 4 pillars of love that I talked about: emotional well-being, physical well-being, spiritual well-being, mental well-being. Like, go back and find tools from those chapters to help you keep your heart nourished and open, because when you're doing these exercises related to your heart, you might notice certain wounds come up, certain anger, rage even, or fear, right? Certain emotions might come up and you might feel like you can't do them. You can't face them. But you will. You'll be able to face them with courage, um, with love, and having tools to help you is important. Okay, so I've on page 136, I share some ideas and tips to support your heart healing and opening. So the first one is to create a sacred container for yourself where you're away from the world. Meditate, eat heart healthy foods like green leafy vegetables, foods that lift your spirit, maybe even detox from alcohol, and anything else that busts your mood. Tell your friends and family that you're taking time for yourself. The second is to continue the self love tools that you learned. Particularly, I find that using the 5 A's, like practicing appreciation, approval, um, acceptance of yourself, that's really important in this phase. A lot of self empathy. So, self empathy is again where you're sitting with your feelings and needs and just practicing loving awareness and acceptance. Okay. And the third is to surround yourself with beauty, candles, baths, music. Like there's on YouTube, there's a lot of healing music that you can listen to. And even like if you're feeling like drawing or writing poetry or anything creative, feel free to do that. Okay. Some of the best artwork comes from people who are healing their hearts or going through a breakup or something, right? So, yeah, any questions? Just noticing what's coming up for you as you're entering this phase of healing your heart. How do you feel? Okay, I'm going to move into heart freedom, free yourself from yourself on page 137. Okay. Um, I've shared a lot of regrets that some of my clients have shared with me. Um, all of these regrets that we have since childhood. I In this section, I have you make a list of all your regrets. Okay. So what you do is you basically in a journal just write down from your childhood, maybe even from the day you were born. Of course, you're not going to remember that, but from the moment that you are consciously aware of making a mistake, just start writing down what your regrets are. Okay. Spend a day writing them. This is probably the one time you're going to do this exercise. So do it really well. Okay. Um, write down what your regrets are in each area of your life, whether it's, you know, your childhood, your career, your love life, your friends, your body, whatever it is. Okay. Um, and be honest. And I would encourage you to share this list with someone. Again, if you're working with a coach or a therapist or a friend, just so that you can be witnessed in this process. Okay. And so what I've noticed is that if we don't do this exercise, then you spend your life carrying around your regrets and your guilt and your shame. And those are the energies that kill love. Like they're just like on the opposite end of the spectrum because they're heavy like lead. Energetically, shame is like lead, whereas love is like gold. Like if you think about what energies or frequencies are connected to these emotions. Okay. So you really want to like, and that's the process of alchemy, right? Alchemy is turning lead to gold. That's what the ancient alchemists did. And that's what you're doing through this work. You're basically looking at all these things that are weighing you down and just setting an intention, like, I'm just going to release them. I used to volunteer for a prison reform kind of program. So we would basically work with people who were in prison and practice like reconciliation and empathy with them. And I learned a lot. Like there was this one guy, his name was Divine. So he was a beautiful man and he had killed someone. Okay. And he still found it in himself to forgive himself. And I was so amazed with him. And he was just on this upward journey. Like he was like rocking the empathy stuff and the group, the group healing, the reconciliation stuff. Like it was so powerful. I learned a lot from that. Like if a person can forgive themselves for killing someone, then we can forgive ourselves for everything else, really. I mean, and you deserve it. You deserve to just release these regrets that are no longer serving you. Okay? You deserve it. And I give you permission to face these regrets and to release them. Okay? Not that you need my permission, but sometimes as humans, we need the permission to release guilt and shame. Okay? So, yeah, I'm going to, what you're going to do with this exercise is you're going to write down all of these regrets, and maybe you've already done them. And if you have, congratulations. Okay. And then what you do with each one is you say, okay, dear one, even though, well, actually, you're going to do this meditation where you basically go from your childhood up to the present moment and you go every age. And I learned this through Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh has a book called Reconciliation, and it's a powerful book. I would highly recommend that book. And so this is a Buddhist meditation where you basically go from every age in your life and you practice love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Okay. And you're going to do that at every age and observe your regrets at every age, your shame and your guilt at every age, and just practice love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Okay. Hug yourself, caress yourself as a mother would. Look at yourself at each age with utter kindness and compassion. Okay. Understand that whatever you did in your life till now, at whatever age, you were just doing your best. Okay. So yeah, just practice. I love, accept, and forgive myself. Practice that a lot every time you make a mistake now, and just set the intention that you're not going to carry any more regrets going forward. It's important. Okay. So I'm going to end today with this prayer for a new life. Okay. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity to be on this beautiful earth. Thank you for this life. Thank you for my life. Today I begin anew. I'm ready to give up my darkness and heaviness and step into freedom. I know that each mistake I've made in my life was a chance for me to learn. I release my hurts, guilt, and shame, which I have carried with me. I realize that they were essential for me to learn, grow, and heal. Please grant me the wisdom to heal these wounds. I forgive myself and others who have hurt me, and I seek forgiveness from those I've hurt. I vow to accept, love, and forgive myself for exactly who and where I am. I'm ready to stand in my own light, to embrace the fullness of who I am, a well-intentioned, kind human being, becoming more and more aware. I embrace my joyful, innocent, free-spirited inner child. I open to the mystery of all of who I am, and I vow to lead a life of open-heartedness and love. I'm ready to trust myself and life and make the best choices possible in every moment. I stand for my happiness, peace, and liberation, which in turn empowers others to do the same. May I wake up each day with a sense of freedom, a new beginning for a new life. Amen. Thank you. So, thank you again for joining me for this week's book club. If you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat right now. Any insights, any feedback, or you can email me. And I wish you the very best. Next week, we're going to do Heart Freedom, Heal Yourself from Your Family Blueprint. We're going to do the mother wound first. So that's basically the wounds that you have from your relationship with your mother. And that's a very important wound to heal. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for everyone listening and tuning in. Take care. See you next week.